Now 12 years, we struggled to end legal segregation and all of the humiliation surrounding legal segregation. So it was a struggle for decency. But I've also got to be concerned about the survival of a world in which to be integrated. We're moving to a new phase of the movement, and that is a phase where we are seeking genuine equality, where we are dealing with hard economic and social issues.
We also know that no matter how dynamically the economy develops and expands, it does not eliminate all poverty. New forms of work that enhance the social good will have to be devised for those for whom traditional jobs are not available.
The other thing is that we are dying spiritually and psychologically in disproportionate numbers at home.
Now we realize that dislocations in the market operation of our economy and the prevalence of discrimination thrust people into idleness and bind them in constant or frequent unemployment against their will.
That is a great deal that the society can and must do if the Negro is to gain the economic security that he needs.
We must create incomes. People must be made consumers by one method or the other. We must develop progress that will drive the nation to a guaranteed annual income. Early in the century, this proposal would have been greeted with ridicule and denunciation as destructive of initiative and responsibility. At that time, economic status was considered the measure of the individual's abilities and talents.
And it means that the job is much more difficult. It's much easier to integrate a lunch counter than it is to guarantee an annual income. It's much easier to integrate a bus than it is to get a program that will force the government to put billions of dollars into ending slums.
We've come a long way in our understanding of human motivation and of the blind operation of our economic system. Negroes who have a double disability will have a greater effect on discrimination when they have the additional weapon of cash to use in their struggle. The poor transformed into purchasers will do a great deal on their own to alter housing decay.
Now, one of the answers, it seems to me, is a guaranteed annual income, a guaranteed minimum income for all people and for all families of our country.
Once they are placed in this position, we need to be concerned that the potential of the individual is not wasted. A host of positive psychological changes inevitably will result from widespread economic security. The dignity of the individual will flourish when the decisions concerning his life are in his own hands, when he has the assurance that his income is stable and certain, and when he knows that he has the means to seek self-improvement. Personal conflicts between husband, wife, and children will diminish when the unjust measurement of human worth on a scale of dollars is eliminated.
How did you arrive at this decision, and who influenced your thinking?
I thought about it for several months, and finally I went away to write a book in Jamaica where I had a chance to reflect and meditate and do a great deal of thinking.
It seems to me that the civil rights movement must now begin to organize for the guaranteed annual income, begin to organize people all over our country and mobilize forces so that we can bring to the attention of our nation this need and this something which I believe will go a long, long way toward dealing with the Negro's economic problem and the economic problem with many other poor people confronting our nation.
We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. The question is whether America will do it. There's nothing new about poverty. What is new is that we now have the techniques and the resources to get rid of poverty. The real question is whether we have the will. Now our country can do this. John Kenneth Galbraith said that a guaranteed annual income could be done for about $20 billion a year. And I say to you today that if our nation can spend $35 billion a year to fight an unjust, evil war in Vietnam and $20 billion to put a man on the moon, it can spend billions of dollars to put God's children on their own 2 feet right here on earth. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. This is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.